rules and regulation, what is the terms of IP policy, and in lack of agreement, they can assign their rights to any industry or any funding agency. Disclosure of invention in front of collaborator without execution of NDA. It is very important whenever you are in discussion with any collaborator for the funding or for the development of your technology or for any technology transfer, IP translation, then it is always advisable that there should be NDA, non-disclosure agreement should be signed by both the parties. But if there is no any direction to the researcher, they can discuss about their technology openly, and they can it can lead to loss of their IP as well, because any person with whom you are discussing without signing NDA can take your idea, and before your efforts, they can or that person or that industry can manufacture the product which are inspired by you, which are based on upon your invention, and you will have no any right on those product, and that industry or the collaborators can earn revenue from your invention. So IP policy can guide you. Yes, if you are discussing about your technology or invention with any funding agency and collaborators or any person, then first execute NDA with them. Students are always excited to showcase their technology in web portal and social media of university without knowing that any showcasing of their technology, anybody can copy their idea and they can kill their invention themselves. Drafting on own application without knowing the rules to save money but ending up in losing IP. If there is IP policy in place for any academic institution, they can help researcher how to draft with the help of IP or TT professional, which may be, or any law firm which they have hired. But these all terms are mentioned in the IP policy. So these are the negative effects if there is lack of IP policy in any academic institution. Next, we will discuss about Symbiotic Association of Industry and Academia. I think everybody is aware about the term Symbiotic Association. It is a mutual benefit. It is for the mutual benefit of both the parties. And as I mentioned earlier, in the past, the main mandate of any academic institution was excellence in the research and teaching. And all the research work ended up either in the thesis of student or in the publication. There was no translation of IP. But now academic institutions are aware about the worth of their work, and they know how to collaborate with the industry and the private institution or the government funding agency to further develop their technology, and to do IP translation, technology transfer, so that they can earn revenue or the brand value from that. Why the brand value for that? Because if any person, any student or the startup, they know that this university or academic institution has goodwill in IP translation, and there is conducive environment for research and technology transfer, yes, they are doing good work, then more students, researcher and the startup will attract towards academic institution. So how this association is symbiotic, how it is beneficial for both the parties? Why? Because in case of academia, there is conducive environment for research. They have skilled manpower in the form of scientists, faculty members, researcher, and they have the world acclaimed new research projects that can give rise to innovative product. On the other side, industry has capacity to manufacture and the environment to manufacture or further develop their technology and to grow and compete. Academia is a non for profit organization, and they have that set of mind to do research, and they have knowledge. On the other hand side, industry, the main mandate of any industry, it is to do business and earn revenue, and they have that environment as well as they have that kind of context, and so to grow and compete. When academia and industry collaboration occur, then it can expedite the availability of innovative technology to the market, because researcher at the academic institution, they are engaged with doing their research, and they have knowledge, they have idea, and they can give that knowledge and to the industry, and industry has that workplace and to manufacture and of course the funds. So the both thing, when they combine, when the collaboration occur, then it expedite the availability, means they will manufacture the technology and the product will be readily available to the market, which is good for benefit of society as well. And these collaboration is the new source of revenue for academic institution faculty through IP translation, technology transfer, and other collaboration. And for academia, these include career opportunities as well, as industry can hire any researcher to do further research in their from their side as well, and research funding, awareness of industry trend as well. In fact, the student or researcher can go to the industry and can take training from them and can be aware about the what are the industry trends and how they can further do IP, how they can further uh, manufacture, or what are the risk or what are the issues faced by any industry while manufacturing, so they can combine both the knowledge and expedite the process of manufacturing. In case of industry, access to extended network, training new talent, hiring, access to world leading resources. And if there is a clear joint vision on the future, it can strengthen the collaboration. And IP policy, it plays an important role to mitigate all the issues. Industry academia collaboration and issues faced by them. If the terms for ownership of IP and other terms which are not clear in any IP policy, or if IP policy is not in place in any academic institution, then of course industry academia collaboration can face many issues. IP policy of any academic institution, it should have clear terms for collaboration between industry and academia. There should be no ambiguity in the terms, or the terms should not be open-handed. These should be crisp and it should be clear. If terms and conditions for industry academia collaboration are not transparent in the IP policy of academic institution, then the following issues can be emerge. First, IP ownership issue, and the second one is issues which are regarding royalty. IP ownership issues. So IP issues, it is one of the most important or the significant issue which is faced by industry and academia. If the terms are not clearly mentioned, and sometimes it can lead to loss of IP for academia as well. For example, in case of any academic institution, there was no any IP policy, and the researcher of that institution, they had one collaboration with industry for further development of their project. Industry has given all the funds for funds for further development, but the idea and the resources were of institutional. But academia had no any IP policy in place, and in that case academia had to transfer their IP rights to industry, because there were no IP policy, there were no any terms and condition. Clarity on ownership of IP protects the interest of both the parties, and it is beneficial for both of them as well. Academic IP policy should have clear terms regarding if there will be any collaboration with the industry, then academic institute will reserve all the IP rights, or both the parties will own joint rights depend upon the type of case. In case we will discuss this point in the later slide. Before initiation of any collaboration, which is must and which is very important for any collaboration, there should be mutual agreement which is executed between both the parties to avoid any future issue of IP, and that the terms of that agreements are derived from IP policy of any academic institution. Issues regarding royalty. Terms regarding upfront payment and royalty should be clearly mentioned in the IP policy, and it depends upon the valuation of technology. And sometime what happened, industry it gave lump sum amount of payment to academia and get the royalty free license, which is I would say lost to the academic institution. Why? Because when you transfer your technology, you are not aware about the worth of your technology, means down the line maybe it can act as robust technology as per the situation. For example, last year, this is my experience. There was one inventor, I was dealing that case, and he came up with the mask, and it was very unusual. At that time I thought, okay, how will you use that? I will, but today's situation, you know about the worth of mass in the breakdown of COVID-19, and now you won't believe he got the BIG grant for that technology as well. So why the second point I'm mentioning this example, because sometime industry give lump sum payment of your technology after the valuation and the terms of your IP policy, and get the royalty free license. But down the line, when the industry will start manufacturing and selling the product in the market, maybe according to the situation, they can earn more and more revenue from that. So if there is IP policy, you can mention about the terms of royalty as well. Royalty means if industry is earning, for example, 1 lakh on the gross sale is 1 lakh, then the industry has to pay 10% or 20% of royalty to the academic institution after technology transfer to the industry. For technology transfer, standard terms should be mentioned in the IP policy so that every technology transfer deal can be done according to that. So there should be standard terms, and it can it should not be very case to case, but there should be, yes, for royalty percentage, or what is the upfront payment. It depends upon the type of technology, need of situation, and what is the future of technology, or it is disruptive or robust technology or add-on technology. It depends upon these factors, but there should be standard terms how they will do technology transfer, and what should be the criteria, what should be the upfront payment, and these things should be mentioned, and how they can calculate these payment or royalty percentage. It should be mentioned. Proper agreement should be signed with the industry for technology transfer deal, and royalty terms should be mentioned in the agreement. Distribution of revenue amongst the industry academia should be according to the IP policy, and it should be mentioned. And different case scenario can be mentioned in the IP policy, and of course, revenue distribution among academic institution and inventors should also be mentioned in the policy. If IP policy with all the terms and condition for the ownership, upfront payment, royalty, is mentioned in IP policy, then it can mitigate all the issues regarding IP, TT, and royalty. Okay, there is one case study. Anyone can answer. There is one employee of industry visited academic institution. He got engaged in research work in the academic institution. He created innovative technology with help from the faculty of institution, and he also used the resources of the institution. Now, my question is, who will own the IP for the innovative technology, industry or institution, and why? Anyone can answer this question, or we can take it after my lecture. Okay. Anyone?
Reema, when we would be having our question answer session, I think so then we can take it up.
Yeah. Thank you, Radhika. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, go ahead.
So we will discuss about this case study after my talk. So what is the solution to avoid these issues? In the IP policy, there should be defined clauses for ownership of IP, handling of confidential information, means how the confidential information will be handled in any academic institution, authority to signing agreement. For example, faculty is involved in, or student are involved in any technology transfer deal, and in case if they are not aware about the IP policy, and they can end up with loss of revenue or royalty or IP as well. So there should be who is the authority to sign the agreement. It should be mentioned in the IP policy as well. Sharing concern information or even material, like if there is any prototype of technology, vector, any formulation, without proper agreement. So how these issue can be mitigated, these all can be, these terms and conditions should be mentioned in the IP policy. Ownership of IP. So these are the different scenario in which can be mentioned in the IP policy. Who will, in that case, who will own the IP? These are the different scenario. For example, in any institute, it owns the IP right if the work is invented, created, made, or designed by an employee or student during the course of employment or associate with the institute. An institute, second scenario is an institute, and this is the same. The first one was the employee or student. An institute on the IP rights if work is invented, created, made, or designed by using institutional resources by student, researcher, or employee can be faculty. And if a visitor from outside has created the work by using institute resources, then institute, it owns the IP right. There is exceptional case as well. If institute find that, or the institute determine that IP was created by individual in its own time and unrelated to their institutional responsibility, then the IPR shall vest with the individual. Okay, confidential information. Faculty, student, visitor who receive institutional confidential information. In fact, any research work, any invention disclosure is also the confidential information and must not disclose that information without consent from the institute. Why? Because any work which is generated in any lab of institution, because student or faculty, they are using the resources of institute, or any student who is working under any professor is also using the intellect of that professor. So all the work or all the information which is generated in any academic institution is the confidential information, and the academic institution has first right on that academic, that confidential information. If in any case, for example, if researcher is searching for any funding, or and want to disclose that invention, or any employee or any visitor, then first they have to take written permission from the university. And without university prior information or consent, they can't disclose the confidential information. Implementation of IP policy in an institute. It is very interesting because I also have experienced this thing. There is IP policy in academic institution, but faculty or students, they are not aware about the terms and condition of their IP policy. So it is important to have IP policy in any academic institution, but it is more important to implement the IP policy in any institute. So, how they can implement that IP policy in any academic institution? There should be regular training session or awareness program for faculty member, researcher, and student, because they are the main custodian or they are the main skill manpower who are dealing with confidential information, who are doing research, and they should be aware about the IP policy of any institution and their institution, in fact. And they should know if they have come out with any research work, then they should refrain from disclosing their information to any funding agency or any person without the prior consent from the IP or TT or the custodian of IP of that institution. And they should take permission from that, and they should submit their work in the form of report or the invention disclosure first to that IP or TTO of their institute, and then they can guide them how to proceed further. And these procedure, these form, all the student and researcher and in fact the faculty member should be aware about that. And any IP cell or TTO can run these kind of session or the competitions, like on that IP day, they can celebrate IP day, and they can sensitize student and faculty about the importance of IP. And they can do essay writing competition, poster making competition pertaining to IP significance, and then any IP policy session. And it should be part of their curriculum as well. If the PhD student, if any researcher or student or any person who is enrolling themselves for research work, then there should be the terms and conditions should be in their uh, you know uh, course curriculum, or it can be in form of any booklet, so that they should all the terms and conditions should be on the tips for any researcher, so that they can, it is for the benefit of academic institution itself. IP policy shall be available to all the faculty members, research, and students. I have seen there are few academic institutions who refrain themselves from floating their IP policy, which is wrong, because faculty member, researcher, and student, they are the main persons who are doing research, and they should aware about their IP policy, so that in future if they are into any TT deal, or they should be aware that how to protect their IP and who owns the IP right. And if they are engaged in any TT deal, then what should be the terms of that agreement, and what should be, how they can calculate the upfront payment, how can they perform valuation, and how the royalty term should be. Faculty members should know about all the terms for industry academia collaboration, so that in future they, because in earlier slide I have discussed about, if there is no any IP policy, sometimes any academic institution can end up with losing their IP as well. And in fact if they are involved in any technology transfer deal, then they take only upfront payment, and sometimes they result into royalty free license as well. So if our faculty our faculty, student, researcher, or any visitor who is involved in research work in any academic institution should be aware about all the terms and condition of any collaboration, and so that they know what they have to discuss with industry, and they can make them understand, okay, this is according to our IP policy, and so that in future there will be no any issues regarding that. So this is all about institutional IP policy. Thank you so much everyone for the patience. And if you have any question regarding my lecture, you can always reach us at queries.itttu@outlook.com. Over to you, Radhika.
Yeah, thanks, Reema, for your vibrant and thought provoking talk. I'm sure the basics you have covered regarding the IP policy and the key attributes associated with it are very essential. IP policy can play a stimulating role not only in enhancing the research ecosystem in the country, but also addressing the key issues that you raised regarding the industry academia collaboration, how we are going to build the trust within industry, how we can do the collaborative project in proper agreements and proper terms. So thanks, Reema, once again for this wonderful talk. We definitely have some questions. I've seen the chat box, so it's filled up with the questions. So, Reema, how you want to proceed? You wanted to take questions from them, or should I read the questions from the chat
Yeah,
box to you?
yes, I'm reading this question. Okay.
You can call the name. So you are totally free. You just call the name and just answer them.
Yeah,
No need.
actually, the first question which popped up on my screen is there any IPR course? Yes, of course, you can do IPR course from Nilsar, Hyderabad, and there is National Law University, Bangalore, who is offering IPR
No, excuse
course.
me, Reema. I was more concerned with the IIT Delhi. Like, are you running any courses in for undergraduate, postgraduate, or PhD students?
No, as of now, I don't think so. There is any IPR course running in the IIT Delhi. If in future we will come across about these kind of courses in IIT Delhi, we will keep on informing to you through Radhika or your IP cell. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, Reema, we have questions. Professor
From
Tiwari has also posed two, three more questions. So, Professor Tiwari, you want to first convey those questions and then we can move to the others? Uh, Okay, so we have questions from our coordinator, Professor Nirmala. We have from our colleagues, Miss Mamta and Sanjukta. So I'll first request Professor Nirmala if you can ask your question.
Uh, Hello, Reema.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So first of all, yeah, thank you for explaining it in such a simple way because, as I told you, students and researchers are not aware, and that is why most in the university patents filing is very less because they really do not know. Students who have completed their PhD also, they still do not know that we can do it from PU. So that dissemination of information is lacking. And I just wanted to know that you are talking about revenues.
Yes,
The amount of revenue, like there are different types of innovations in different fields.
exactly,
So the
exactly.
amount of revenue, how do you decide that for this innovation we can give this amount? Is there a criteria, or you give it it is more or less the same amount?
Ma'am, there is no set for one fit for all kind of strategy. It
Yeah.
varies case to case. As you mentioned in your question, yes, it is there because it depends upon the type of technology. I mentioned in the lecture as well. It depends upon you can do a valuation of your technology. First criteria is if it is robust or the disruptive technology or improvisation of technology, if it is a need of situation. So there are, and the we there are so many plethora of criteria which we include during the evaluation of technology, and
Mm-hmm.
for royalty terms as well. It depends upon valuation of technology, and sometimes if you are new, sometimes it is a cost plus. You will check how much you have spent during invention of your technology, how much resources were invested, and your professor has given time to that student. So you mention about all the criterias,
Mm-hmm.
and of course there is no any set. And revenue, you can make one slab. Okay, if industry is earning 5 lakh gross sale has, then you can take 10% of royalty on gross. I'm just giving you hypothetical example. In case it is 10 lakh, then you can take 7%. So it depends upon sale, gross sale as well. So there is no any set criteria.
And yes, Rima, just to continue with Sanjukta has asked, here I have also just responded. One main thing is what we've learned, that very few students are aware about patents, how to file a patent, and that is why there, of course, we have websites. There are university institutes have website, but nowadays students. They more concentrate on publication because of the lack of awareness, and due to this also we have got examples just in our department, because they did not know about, the students did not know about. They go to a private university like Shulni University. They go from here doing all the research there. They have filed patents from Shulni University because they really do not have no idea. And then there is a very big phobia that filing a patent will mean to going straight to Delhi, and then how much money is cost. So there are a lot of questions which the researchers then says, oh, just forget it and just let us publish the paper. So what I wrote also, that we make a very simple document and give the different steps, that this is how you can start, whom to approach. And in every session, when the new session starts, if this information is given, they will at least think of attempting to file a patent. So this, I don't know how many universities or institutes do this dissemination of information every year. So, but I, as a researcher, I feel that is very important to attract the researchers.
Ma'am, you have given very good solution to all this problem. Yes, we also come across so many examples in which students themselves have killed their invention by
Yes.
publication. They
Mm.
are very excited. In their mind, it is only their mind is only they have to do research, and they
Yes.
have to write their thesis and only publish them. They are not aware about the
Yes.
incentive they can get from filing
Mm.
IP.
Mm.
And in fact, if they are aware about this thing, and your explanation and your solution is the best one for starting of any class, or if they are into research, any course,
Yeah.
then there should be one document in which it is mentioned about, okay,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is this is our IP policy, and now it should be mandatory for them. I,
Mm-hmm. And even
because I,
from the postgraduate, from postgraduate, they can, if they
exactly.
are aware, they can think, they can also design their experiments if they, because I think everybody will say, oh, this is so good. Now we have a center to assist this. This is good. And Professor Dr. Yashwant, he also told that day we had a webinar, and he told us a very important thing which we did not know. He said that you can file. Most of them have an idea that after you file the patent, you cannot publish. But Dr. Yashwant said that you file your patent today, and in next day you can go for publication.
Yes,
So that is,
yes.
I am here. I am, after so many years. I still didn't know about this.
Yeah,
So
This is true because IP is you are if you have filed your yeah there was one case ma'am you discuss about wonderful thing because there was one case in which institute they have applied for publication but their publication was in examination stage and they come to know about the worth of their technology after doing patentability assessment of their invention and they expedited the process and filed application in one day and after 15 days their research work was published by a
Yeah,
journal and in this case what they do with their intellect they save the priority date by filing patent application because
yeah,
if you are aware if you are confident that you can further improvise your invention but you want to reserve the priority date then you can file always file provisional patent application
provisionally.
and within 12 months of time span you can improvise your technology and you can file complete specification which is based upon your provision.
Yeah. Thank you, Rima. Thank you very much.
Thank you ma'am.
Thank you, Professor Nirmala, and thanks, Reema, for addressing that. So we'll take quick questions. I mean,
Yes.
three questions I can just say. I'll request Ms. Mamta, Sanjukta, and then Anushri to make your questions quite quick, and Reema for your quick answers. And for detailed discussion, we can definitely email you at any time. We can disturb you on that note. So I'll just request Ms. Mamta for your quick intervention here.
Hello, good morning, Miss Reema. This is Mamta Bhardwaj from DST-Centre for Policy Research. And
Good morning.
ma'am, as a policy, yes, good morning, ma'am. As a policy researcher, I just want to know that what should be the crucial aspect of a dedicated institutional IP policy, and which points should be focused more and more.
Okay, actually, there are so many parameters for any IP policy, and ownership. It is the most important apart from all the set procedure for evaluation or protection or translation of your technology. The most important is the ownership of IP. You must have seen there are so many cases in the public domain in which the two person or the companies or the industry or the academic institution they are fighting for their ownership. So there should be set criteria for ownership of IP. There should be different scenario. Okay, if all the resources and intellect of academic institutions are used for invention, then all the IP rights are pertaining. They are with academic institution. And in second, if industry has invest funding and they have also given their manpower for their invention and support them, then yes, it depends upon in academic institution they can have joint ownership as well. So I think ownership is most important because IP is all about translation. Because if ownership is clear, then in future you can deal with all the issues which may arise, like royalty issues and what, because if you are owner of your invention, then you have right to take royalty, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
ownership in my view, there are so many others as well, but this is the most crucial parameter of any IP policy and which helps in solving so many issues. And in
Uh,
fact, in case of inventors as well, if there is 3 and 4 inventors who are working on the same invention and 2 or 3 are from industry side, then it is always said that the lead inventor will be the inventor who is from academic institution. Okay. And if
yes,
all, and how the royalty distribution will, how the revenue will be distributed amongst inventors, it depends upon their intellect contribution, how much they were involved in inventing that, who had that idea, who contributed 40 50, it depends upon their contribution and it should be clear in the IP policy.
And ma'am, it's about your case study you were mentioning in your presentation. So
Yes,
I think according to me, ethically it should be the property of university only. But
exactly.
because yes, and ma'am, but don't you think that that the inventor is from industry? Then there should be a joint collaboration and joint ownership also.
There
This
is
is what I
it.
felt.
Yes, yes. There can be two scenario. First is they are using, there is clear cut because this case study was pertaining to the IP policy of academic institution, and
Okay.
for formation or creation of any IP policy, it depends upon academic institution itself how they will make different scenario. Yes, but for fair deal, I would suggest the first scenario is if uh, if the person is using all the intellect, okay, of and all the, because intellect in the form of faculty is teaching or training or other lab members who are helping that industry person, and moreover all the resources, all the operators or all the material is provided by academic institution. That person
Yeah.
is only on training, okay, he is
Yes,
only
ma'am.
he is only gaining something, he is only learning things and using the resources. In that case, the IP will be with academic institution. But yes, if industry is spending so much for that project, and yes, industry is and that person is contributing in that idea, and industry is also giving its support for that invention, in that case it is the it is the decision of academic institution if they can have joint agreement for IP ownership. True.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks, Reema, and thanks, Miss Mamta. We are just
Thank you.
about to, like, we have just uh, come to the 1 hour that, like, the time we have started. So as I mentioned, that we would be taking questions from Sanjukta and
Radhika,
Anushri. So we can have a quick questions from.
yes, yes. Yeah, I'm Anushri. Hi, Reema.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Most of us in academic institutions have funds from government agencies like DST, DBT, etc. And
Yes.
if IP arises in that, and if there is technology transfer from that, what happens there?
So
Does the
okay,
Bay Role Act applicable to us?
yes, there are two scenarios. For example, if you must know about School of International Biodesign project, which is flagship program of DBT, Department of Biotechnology of India.
Right.
It
Hmm.
is fully sponsored project, and DBT is doing hand holding to the inventors for. They are working on the medical devices. In that case, because DBT is funding the entire project, DBT has established this project in association with the collaboration between AIMS Delhi and IIT Delhi. In that case, IP is the ownership of IP will be with DBT, and there will be no any there will be no any conflict because DBT is doing everything and there is agreement in place, and DBT is signing agreement with each and every inventor who is involved in any invention. So in that case, DBT will own all the IP. But yes, there are different scenario as well in which you are doing everything, and government is giving you funds. In that
Fine.
case, IP belongs to yourself. You can check from BIG grant as well.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Anushri. Sanjukta, go ahead. Then we conclude our session.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Sanjukta, and
Good morning.
I have three questions. One
Okay.
is that students have to be trained. That was spoken of earlier, but the
Yes.
senior faculty also need to know about IP and its protection, and they
Exactly.
also need to have an orientation program. One
Exactly.
was that. Second was it will be nice to develop a framework for evaluation of every technology in terms of revenue, to be passed on from industry to academia.
Yeah, Sanjukta, the first question you raised is good, and I mentioned the same thing in my talk as well. It is very important that all the student, faculty, and researcher who are actually the main who are the main person or who are doing researcher should be aware about IP policy, so that they can they can not face any issue in the future. If
Yeah,
they are not aware about the first of all, they should be aware about the significance of IP.
significance of
Because
IP.
yeah, if they are not aware about significance of IP, they will randomly publish their work, and they know this is only they can publish their work, but before that they can file their patent application. And
And and the other question I had, Reema, was uh, usually the medical institutes and the colleges do not have an IP cell. It is
Mhm,
considered very low on priority in their activities. So
mhm.
do we have regional centers which can facilitate IP generated from these colleges or institutes?
A
Like
very good question.
I know AIMS is supported by you uh, through their Stanford Bio Design program, or AIMS has its own faculty, own IP
IP
cell
cell as well.
now, but it didn't have previously. But
Yes.
other medical colleges also have a lot of inventions going on. So, do we have any regional center to support this?
Yes, Sanjukta, it's very good and very valid question, because BIREC under its National Biopharma Mission has established regional technology transfer offices, and my office, which is Innovation Technology Transfer Office under FITT, is Regional Technology Transfer Office, and we are here to cater all the institution. Academic institution, incubator, startup, individuals, or researcher in the northern city.
Okay, my
Northern. Yes, please.
my interest was also disseminating this information in the medical colleges and institutes.
Yes. So there are two, three, mandates of our regional TTO. First one is to spread awareness about IP technology, and it is a mandate of our project, and we are here to assist all of them for their IP filing, how they can protect. It has all the steps, right from patentability assessment prior art to filing their IP, and then maintenance of their IP, and how they can improvise their technology, and how they can file other type of IP, and then again for the technology transfer and other collaboration as well. So yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Reema. So we are like at the end of our webinar. So just before closing our session, I'll request every one of you to turn on your cameras that we virtually document our webinar. So Reema, if you can also turn on your camera,
Yes.
that would be
Yes.
really great. We'll have beautiful faces on the screen. Yeah, I'll quickly take the screenshots. Yeah, that's done. All right. So
Thank you, Dr. Radhika.
thank you, ma'am. Thanks, Reema, once again for the wonderful talk and the
Thank
insightful
you so
and
much.
such an engaging chat that we had. All credit goes to both Center for Policy Research and the Technology Transfer Office at FITT and IIT Delhi. We look forward for the further collaborations with you and your team to undertake strong work and impactful work for the policies generation in the country. With this, I'll request Professor Nirmala just to say the concluding words. Thank you.
Camera on. Um, Ma'am, you are on mute.
Yeah, ma'am, you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself and then?
Oh,
All right. Okay.
thank you, Ms. Reema, for your wonderful talk. It was informative, though basic, which is very essential because we have to start from ground zero. The IPR policy, it has been, it is not really known the regarding it, it's very important but not well known, and you have highlighted, and you have many important areas, and we shall surely this center will look into how we can assist in disseminating about the information, because you're very right, it is not only the students, faculty also, myself also, we are unaware of so many things. So we will try and we will collaborate with you and interact with you so you can give us a better direction. At the end, I thank everyone, all the participants, and also our worthy Vice Chancellor, who has been instrumental in, he has been always supporting us, and the staff of Center of DSC Policy, Dr. Radhika, Mamta, and then we have Sukriti, and also Dr. Oh, not the least, Professor Rupinder Tiwari also. He has built up the center, and is there whenever we want to have some discussions. So thank you everyone for being with us. Okay, with this we can close the meeting.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, Mamta. Thank you, Dr. Tiwari, for giving us this opportunity. And I just want to mention, we are organizing a webinar series in association with the PU BioNest Incubator. And it is all about significance of IP, technology transfer, and creation of IP policy. It is very interesting topic. You can check the link, and you all can join us there as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Radhika.
Thanks, Reema. It was really wonderful. So even I have a few questions that I can discuss with you on call.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Anjali.
Thank you.